An isolation factor is any reason why a species might remain genetically isolated from other species around them, or even from other individuals within that species. If a group is isolated from others over many generations, this might result in the inability to mate with their neighbors, even if they were once related. If that happens, they have formed a new species. Let's take a look at several examples of isolation factors. First, geographical isolation. Geographical isolation occurs when species are physically separated by mountains or canyons or even bodies of water. The bonobo, for example, is a primate population that was isolated from its brethren and over many generations developed into a new species. Bonobos have a matriarchal structure unlike any other primate population. Habitat isolation. Habitat isolation occurs when two organisms live in different parts of the same area. For example, snakes living in two different parts of the lake will be naturally selected for their extreme traits. One lives in the watery area, one lives in the grassy area, and this is called disruptive selection. Behavioral isolation occurs when two similar species have different mating rituals, thus isolating them from one another, a method of reproductive isolation. Let's see. Mechanical isolation occurs when two species may be similar, okay, but are incapable of mating. For example, an extremely large dog is unable to mate with an extremely small dog and vice versa. Gamete isolation occurs when the sperm of one species cannot fertilize the egg of another. Sea urchins, for example, are only able to fertilize 1.5% of the ovules of other species, whereas other marine life, such as coral, can crossbreed with other species more widely. So this is not happening. And next, temporal isolation occurs when two organisms mature at different times, or mate perhaps during different seasons. Flowers blooming in different seasons is a sign that they cross-pollinated at different times. And finally, polyploidy. Polyploidy occurs when an uneven number of chromatids separate during meiosis, and therefore offspring have more than 2n number of chromosomes in some cells. Once polyploids form from gametes, they can only mate with other polyploids. One example in most plants is an example of having maybe 6 or 8 or 12 sets of chromosomes in each cell. Strawberries have 8 sets of chromosomes in each cell. This can prevent them from mating with other plants. So in summary, many factors can influence whether a population is genetically separate or isolated from others. These factors can all help populations maintain their characteristics, and conversely, it can prevent them from diversifying.